समन्ता चक्रवालेषु अत्रा गच्छन्तु देवता सद्धम्मं मुनिराजस्य सुनन्तु सग्गमोक्खदं धम्मश्रवण कालो अयं बदन्ता ධම්මස්සවන කාලෝ අයං බදන්තා ධම්මස්සවන කාලෝ අයං බදන්තා නමෝ තංස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දංස නමෝ තංස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දංස නමෝ තංස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දංස. Okay, all of you are warmly welcome. Today we are going to start our weekly program, Dhamma discussion, and last days we were discussing about the doctrines that Buddha explained to us. Especially, when we learn Buddha's message, we study the way for the happiness, for the real happiness. Now also you think that you have some sort of happiness, but that happiness can be changed suddenly. But if you can practice this way in the name of happiness, that happiness cannot be changed. Nobody can change that happiness, because that happiness depends on our understanding, with our understanding. That is why nobody can disturb our happiness. Yeah. This is the real happiness. Now, when our children, our facilities are okay, then we are happy. But when they change, we worry, we are sad, we are angry with that changing. But if we can cultivate, develop our real happiness with understanding of practicing these teachings, actually that happiness is very strong. That happiness is very long. We can keep it for a long time, because we have accumulated that happiness with real understanding. We know the real way about the happiness through learning these teachings. That is why we are so lucky. And today I hope to explain you a very special topic. Before that, I would like to explain some sort of teachings that Buddha explained. And one day the Lord Buddha explained that I explained to the world only two things. What they are? The suffering and the cessation of suffering. I explained to the world only two things, that the suffering and the cessation of suffering. On the other hand, he explained to the world only two things, the happiness and the way of happiness. That is very related to us. We are very lucky when he explained that thing. Therefore, he explained to the world only two things, what they are, the happiness and the way of happiness. And on the other hand, he explained to the world the nature of suffering and the cessation of suffering. What is the suffering that we suffer in our day-to-day life? When our mind is angry, when our mind is desire with something, then we lose our happiness. we lost our happiness. If we are angry, if we have some sort of big attachment to something, then especially if we are angry, then we lost our peace and happiness. Then that is why the first thing that we have to do to get rid of anger. And little by little we can develop loving kind meditation and cultivate the real loving kindness. Then we have no anger when other persons do some bad deeds. When other things are changed, we have no anger because we have cultivated, we have practiced loving kindness or friendliness. Then we have described the highest example, the highest result of practicing loving kind meditation. What is the highest example of the practicing loving kind meditation? We have described more times. As soon as we look at a person, if we have some sort of idea about that person as our only son or daughter, as our mother or father, as our sister or brother, only daughter or sister, only son or daughter, only brother or sister, not many. If we have only son or daughter, we have a lot of kindness for them. Then again and again we practice loving kindness. Then other persons do some mistakes. When other persons do some bad deeds in their life, when we see them, when we hear them, we have no anger. Because already we have developed loving kindness. When we drive on the freeway, when a person comes to our lane, suddenly we have no anger. Because as soon as that person does that thing, we have an idea that person is like our only son or daughter. Then it means we have no suffering. We have no stress. We are very strong. We are rich in merits. We are rich in strong mindfulness. That is why nobody can change our calm and quiet. Nobody can change our peace. If someone can change our peace, it means we are not clever. We are weak. You think very clearly, that is very practicable thing in our life. If someone can change our peace or happiness, it means we are weak. We are not strong. Then, although we are well educated, although we are very rich, if we don't have mental peace, it means those properties, those wealth is useless. Isn't? Yeah, if you like to get the result of your properties, your education, your job, your wealth, you have to try to cultivate your mindfulness and this mental situation. Can you understand what I say? Yeah.
Is it okay if you get mad just for a couple seconds and then you go back to your
Yeah. Yeah, at the very beginning we face some problems when we practice, but again and again when we practice these things, we can be strong. At the very beginning we have problems, but it doesn't matter. But if we have mindfulness, we can understand our mistakes. If we know our mistakes, actually it is better, it is good. What is the reason? We can overcome that situation. There are a lot of people in the world, they don't know even they have mistakes. That is the wrong thing. Isn't it? If you can understand, now I have some sort of mistake in my mind, you can overcome that situation because of understanding. But we can see many people in the world, they haven't even understanding that they have mistakes. That is the big delusion. That is the big ignorance. But if you have an ability to understand your mistakes in your life, then it means your situation is very high in merits, because you have some sort of idea, understanding about your life, which mistakes that you have. Then gradually you can overcome little by little because of your understanding. Then Buddha explained very clearly the reason of suffering is especially anger. And also there are another reason, desire or big attachment. It doesn't say that you should try to avoid your children or your relatives. It doesn't sound it. That the wrong thing is, the false thing is that the big attachment, and if we think that those things don't change, that is the wrong thing, that is the fault. If you have a lot of children or people or some relatives, it doesn't matter. But you should have understand that these things that I use can be changed. Not only physically, but also their mental situation also can be changed anytime. When we feed our children, at the very beginning they are very obey. They are very innocent, but gradually when they change their physical body, their attitudes gradually change. That is their nature. Then they may not ask our things. When they go to the school, and they ask things that the teachers say, and sometimes we can control them. Actually, if we have some sort of understanding about this situation, we don't worry. We can understand, we can avoid the suffering when other things change. That is a good benefit in our life. And also we were discussing about the reasons for suffering. The first reason is for happiness is anger. The second one is the desire or big attachment. And also the third very important one is the ignorance or delusion. What is the ignorance or delusion? That if we have no idea about karmic law or dependent origination, that is the nature of the ignorance that Buddhism says. It is clear? Yeah. Ignorance, Buddhism always describes the nature of the ignorance. Ignorance is the worst thing in the world that disturbs us. What is the opposite thing of ignorance or delusion? What is the opposite thing of ignorance or delusion? Wisdom. Understanding or intelligence, especially we say that wisdom. If we have knowledge about wisdom and also if we practice wisdom little by little, it means we are overcoming the suffering. What is the first step of the wisdom? We have already described.
Right understanding?
Yeah, right understanding. What is the first step? Right understanding, right view, intelligence, wisdom, all of them are synonyms for Panya or Sammaditthi.
Concentration?
No. This wisdom is divided into two. The first one is understanding of karmic force. The second one is the understanding of dependent origination. Yeah, if we have intelligence or wisdom, it means the first step we believe the karmic force. What is the karmic force?
Do good, receive good.
Yeah, what we do, what we'll receive. What we like, that will be received. If I like some sort of destroyed of your life, the same result come to me. If I like success for your life, the same result come to me. If I cultivate loving kindness for you, the loving kindness from outside come to me. If I help others, or if I practice generosity, the things from outside come to me. If I help elders or sick persons, when I am in the old age or when I am sick, other persons are ready to help me. They are waiting to help me. But mostly we think that we have a misunderstanding. What is that? If I help you, I believe that you should help me again. That is the wrong idea. If I help you, if I want to help, it comes from anywhere.
Without expecting it.
Yeah, without expecting. Yeah, that is good. Correct.
So genuine, being genuine.
Yeah.
And truly giving real generosity.
Yeah. Yeah. If we practice generosity, if we do it without expectation, that merit is very high, very rich. That is the concept of the Buddhas. When the Buddhas were practicing good qualities in the name of enlightenment, they helped others without expecting anything. That is the nature of their life. If we practice some generosity or some good qualities for us without expecting anything, it means our mind is very strong and our mind is rich in good qualities. Understanding of karmic force is the first step of wisdom. Then if we know that this idea, then we never do the bad deeds such as anger or hatred. What is the reason? We know very well, if I do bad things for others, it means bad results will come to me. That is why I never do the bad deeds. Because I know very well, if I do some bad deeds, the bad results will come to me and it will disturb me.
Okay, I have something to share.
Yeah, okay.
I have a situation recently where I feel very guilty or just really concerned about detaching from an attachment that brings me suffering. And the cause of my suffering is making me feel guilty for detaching.
Mm-hmm.
Am I going to receive that back, or am I doing the right thing for detaching?
Yeah, actually we have attachment when we associate some people. That is the nature.
He got hurt in an accident, and he's in the hospital.
Yeah.
And I didn't go see him or visit him or anything. And
Yeah, actually that is the nature of our compassion. It is not bad, it is good. As a sensitive person, it should be happen. When we are sensitive, when we have compassion, when our close friend face some problem, we are sad, we worry. That is the nature of our compassion. And when a person is sensitive, it may happen. That's the nature. But when we have some sort of that situation, we can do many things. The first thing is, actually, when we have some problems, we should have two things. The first thing is kindness. The second thing is intelligence or wisdom. Both things are very important. But mostly the people have only one, which is kindness. They are kind, but they are not intelligent. They are not wise. We should have not only kindness, but we should have intelligence and or wisdom. When we have kindness, compassion, we bless him or her. We pray them. That is the nature of the kindness. But if we have intelligence or wisdom, we treat them. We bring them to the doctor. And we help for them to medicine. That is the nature of the wisdom. Right?
Yeah.
We should have both. Then we can help them. But if we have only thing that kindness, our helping is not successful. Therefore, first we can bless them, we can pray them, we can wish them for the health. On the other hand, we can help them as medicine or as money or anything that we can do for them. We can help them. Then we can overcome the suffering. On the other hand, if we are intelligent, if we have cultivated, if we have developed the wisdom, we know very well nobody can live ever. Everybody has to become the death. That is the nature of our life. If we have wisdom, if we have practiced the wisdom, at sometimes our close friend may face some fatal accident. They may die. That is the nature of life. Anytime it can be happened. That is the nature of our life. If we have this idea, before that situation, we have practiced this knowledge. We have practiced this wisdom. When we face some sort of problems, our mind is very strong to face these problems, troubles. We have to do all of these things. For example, in these days, I am thinking about my parents, because all of them are more than 80 years. They are very big, they are very weak, and they are very old age. Always, I prepare some puja, some prayer near the Bodh tree, morning and evening. And I bless them. And I help the high priest, who is at the age of 87. Every day I help him. I treat him some things. I prepare some foods morning and daytime for him. I worship him every day. And doing these good deeds, I wish the success for my parents. On the other hand, I try to help them for meritorious deeds. I have prepared something for them for meritorious deeds, for generosity, for getting observing some precepts. I have prepared something at home for them. Then both things should be done, not only for praying or blessing. On the other hand, I have developed my mind. If they die, then how I face that problem without suffering. Then I have some sort of confidence that if they die, they may go the higher position, higher level in the world. When I think that situation, I have no suffering, because I have already fulfilled my duty as a child. Therefore, if we think this situation, when we face those problems, we can't control our mind. But before facing those problems, at the very beginning, we have to practice our mind. But some persons think that if we think old age or sickness or death, we are worried, we are sad, it is not good, forget it. You don't sick, you don't be sick, you don't die. You think like that. Never think that a person die or sick. There are some persons say. But Buddhism always says that the practice the reality. We can't avoid those situations. We have to face. If we were born in the world, we have to face those problems. Before those troubles or problems, if we have practiced or developed our mind in the correct way, we can face those problems without fear and suffering. Especially when our elders, when our parents are in the old age, we should prepare some things to do for them as meritorious deeds, as good. If they practice generosity or morality or wisdom, it causes to success for their next life. If we can help them for meritorious deeds, if their mind is rich in merits, it means now they are happy, and not only they are happy now, but hereafter they will be happy, getting successful life. That is why we should have this knowledge. If we have many friends, it means there are a lot of reasons to be suffering. If you have many children, it means there are many reasons to be suffering. But if you have real understanding, although you have a lot of friends or children, you can overcome the suffering before you face those problems. Buddhism never says that you give up all things. Buddhism never advises you give up your children or parents or your relatives. Buddhism never says. Buddhism advises us to cultivate our mind, our correct view in the correct way. Buddhism advises us to correct our attitude. If we can change our attitude in the correct way, then even though we face some problems, we can face those problems without suffering. That is the thing Buddhism gives us. The Lord Buddha never hopes that we worship Him. He never says that you should appreciate me, you should respect me. The Lord Buddha never says. He always says us kindly, practice this knowledge in your life. to get rid of suffering and to get happiness. That is why we have to practice this knowledge. And it is enough that I said? Okay, thank you. Okay. Then we were discussing about the first step of the wisdom, the understanding of karmic force. As I mentioned, if we have real knowledge about the karmic law, always we try to get rid of bad deeds. That is the first advice of the Buddha. Sabba pāpassa karana. Not to do any evil. Even killing mosquito. Little by little, try to avoid that situation. At the very beginning we can do it, but little by little we try to do it, then we gain our real happiness. Then we can be happy when we think our life. We may have some mistake, doesn't matter. But if our mind is very rich in merits at the moment, we can overcome all things. You know, there were some persons in the Buddha's period, they have killed a number of human beings too. But after they got the understanding, they overcome all those bad activities. And then they change their mind. If you think your previous activities as negative way, then your mind is a negative situation. Your mind is sad. Then if you can change your attitude according to his message, that at the moment you can remind the things that you do at the moment. Actually, our happiness or suffering depends on our attitude. For example, if you think about your departed relative or dead person, if you think your close departed relative as he or she died, then you suffer, then you sad, then you are suffering. If you can think that is still that person living with me, then even though that person died, actually still that person is living with you. If you don't think about some sort of person, even though that person is living, according to Buddhism, actually that person died. You know? That is a very deep concept. If you don't think about your degree or educational qualifications, you have nothing. If you don't think your children, you are single or you are not a mom. If you don't think about your house, you are homeless. Actually, that is the reality of the world. If you think your children, you are a mom, you have children. When you don't think about that things, you have nothing. When you sleep on the bed at night, you have nothing. Even your body. If you don't think even your body, physical body, you have no physical body too.
Is that how people pass in the sleep?
Yeah. If we think something, we have that thing. Actually, that is the ultimate truth. According to conventional truth, you think that you have children, you have parents, you have vehicles on the way, you have a house, you have a land. Actually, that is the conventional truth. It is not false. It is true. But it is not the ultimate truth. It is the conventional truth. According to ultimate truth, you have only thing that you think at the moment. If you know or not, whether you like or not, this is the reality. This is the reality. That is why if you can keep your mind pleasant, calm and quiet and pure always, every moment, then you are rich in happiness. You are rich in merits. Actually, we have only at the moment, this present moment. If we are intelligent, if we are wise, with the knowledge of these teachings, we are so lucky we know the way of happiness. If a person has no idea about this reality, although a person is very rich or well, actually those things are useless because they have no real happiness. Now, when you are here, you have only this situation. If you can be happy about this situation, that is only your life. But when we practice Buddha's message, we practice mindfulness. Practice mindfulness means practicing living the present moment. But always we think, we remind about previous experience or our future. If you think again and again your future or your previous experience, actually you have no real happiness. If you can live at the moment with the mindfulness, that means you have the real happiness. When you start to go on a journey, don't think about the end of the journey. When you start your car or vehicle, you think at the moment, then you can be happy when you drive, enjoy in environment. But if you think end of your trip, you have no real happiness, because until you reach that situation, you are waiting for happiness. But what happens after you go to the end destination? You think, come again. Then you are waiting to come back. Where is the happiness? Nowhere. We have no happiness. Actually, the happiness in the present moment. If you are here, enjoy with this environment. If you are in the vehicle, when you drive, enjoy looking outside and doing some things or looking everywhere and cultivating loving kindness. If you do some activities when you drive, at that moment you are happy. After you reach the destination, also you will be happy. But usually we think that we are very hurried to go to the future. Don't be hurried, go to future. When you go to the future, you will lose many things. You will lose your grandparents or grandmothers. You will lose your mother or father in the future. Just now you have many relatives. But if you think my happiness will be in the future, by that day you will lose many things. Isn't? That is the nature. That is the reality. Don't be hurried to feed your children very fast. When they are in the childhood, that is the very interesting period. Enjoy with your children when they are very small. When they grow up, they are not near you. They will be go far away. That is the nature. You will be alone. Now the right time to be happy. Enjoy. Enjoy with your children. Enjoy with your parents if they are. Enjoy with your brothers and sisters. Enjoy with the environment. For the happiness, we should have good understanding, and especially we should have the mindfulness. What is the nature of the mindfulness? Live in the present moment. What happens at the moment? In this moment you can be happy with the experience of this environment, then your whole life is with happiness. Isn't? Yeah. Yeah. For that, first of all, we should have good attention, good understanding, good knowledge. That is the first step. We should have not only understanding, but also we have a path. We have a way to practice this knowledge. That is the very important topic in Buddhism, that the Eightfold Path that we are going to discuss today with the handout. Yeah. For that happiness, we should have not only right understanding, but we have another 7 steps too, according to the Noble Eightfold Path. First of all, I have given you to the same topic, but here I have changed some sentences. I have added some new sentences here. Okay. And I am going to describe here Buddha's all teachings can be included this only topic. Actually, this is only one topic, although there are 8 steps. The first thing is we should have right understanding or right view. It says in Buddhism, Samma Ditti. In Buddha's language, in Pali language, it says Samma Ditti. In Buddha's language, Samma Ditti means right understanding, right view, or right vision, or intelligence, or wisdom. There are many synonyms we can use. Isn't? Yeah, here, as I mentioned, first of all, we should have right understanding. What about right understanding? What is the nature of the right understanding? Yeah, wisdom. And what is the steps of right understanding or wisdom?
Understanding karmic law.
Yeah, first step is the understanding of karmic law, and the second step of the understanding of dependent origination or impermanence. Understanding of impermanence is very important in Buddhism. But mostly we can say the definition of impermanence, the people say that changing. But not only changing the nature of the impermanence, but according to Buddhism, understanding of impermanence is very, very important. If a person can understand the nature of the impermanence, according to Buddhism, that person is the fortunate person in the world. This is the identity of Buddhism. This is the unique of Buddhism. What is the reason? This concept is nowhere. Karmic law situation we can see in other religions too. Many religions and many philosophers also have described about karmic law. not only by the Buddha. It is the common topic. But the second step of wisdom or right understanding is impermanence or dependent origination is the unique in the Buddhism, and it is the unique in the world. That is the identity in Buddhism, of Buddhism. What is the nature of the impermanence or dependent origination? The experience that we have, the experience that we get at the moment, according to the conditions, when the conditions are together, we have this experience at the moment. Every moment we get the experience through our senses, such as eye, ear, nose, tongue, physical body. Through these senses, we get that experience at the moment. When we look at something, when we hear something, when we smell something, when we taste something, when we touch something, we have that experience at the moment, in this moment. It arises at the moment and it ceases at the moment. Every time it arises, it is new. But if we have no idea, if we have no understanding about this situation, actually we are old persons. If someone can get this idea, that person is very new, then we can live like in the 1st of January. Always we are fresh, we are new. As soon as you look at a person, if that person's mistakes come to your mind, it means you are not living with mindfulness. You are not living at the moment. You are not living with happiness because of ignorance, because you have no idea, about the dependent origination. If we lost our mindfulness, it means we lost our happiness. Happiness, that is why we have explained, if you are tired, you can get some drink, some more. I know you have worked, you are tired. Okay, get some water and drink.
Okay, yeah. I'm listening, I'm observing.
Okay. Then, I think, if we have this idea, if we have this understanding, we are so lucky. The reason is that we know the thing, how we get rid of suffering. This is the nature of the dependent origination, or this is the nature of the impermanence. Then, if we have this right understanding, we are ready to change our attitude into correct way. Then we change our thoughts. It means right thoughts. The second step of Eightfold Path in your handout. Samma Sankappa. Samma Sankappa means right thoughts or right intention or attention. If we have this idea about, if we have the right understanding of karmic thoughts and dependent origination, we are ready to change our thinking pattern. We are ready to change our attitude in the correct way. Further, we are not ready to suffer. We are ready to change our attitude in the correct way, how we get rid of suffering. Then always we try to keep our mind calm, quiet and present. That is the nature of the second step of Eightfold Path, right thoughts. It means we keep away our mind from anger and desire and delusion or ignorance. That is the second step. The third step, that when our mind is very pure and calm, what happens? Then our speech is correct. We have no right to speak bad words. We have good discipline in our speech because of right understanding and right thought. We know very well, if we say something as bad words, we will have the bad results. That is why we have the good discipline in our speech. We protect our words. We don't waste our speech in bad way. You know, there are many people in the society. They tell rubbish, they tell false, they tell lie because of ignorance. If we have real understanding, they never do it. Be kind them. Don't be angry with them. Yeah, they do it because of ignorance, because of no understanding. If they have real understanding about the way of happiness, they never do it. Don't be angry with them. And also other things are very rich and held. Don't be jealous to them too. Then you lose your peace in your mind. Then, especially in the third step, we are ready to practice the discipline in our speech. The next one is right action. We have discipline not only our speech but in our behavior. We try to do good actions. We don't kill the beings, and we don't steal, we don't do bad sexual misconduct. We have a good discipline in our behavior. The reason is we know if we have this misbehavior, it means we will have the bad results. That is why we try to develop good discipline, not only speech, but also our behavior. If we have no misbehavior, it means we have no fear. We have no troubles. We can face any society without fear. It means Buddhism, Visarada, a very special word in Buddhism, in Buddha's language in Pali, Visarada. Visarada. Visarada means no fear.
Can you read that?
Yeah. There is a very special, very nice word. Visarada. Visarada means no fear. We can face, we can go to any place without fear and doubt. Because we are correct in speech and behavior. We have good discipline. If we have good discipline, nobody can criticize us. Nobody can blame us. Nobody can hate us because of our correct behavior. Visarada. Visarada means no fear. We can go anywhere without fear. We can be proud when we think our life. That gains you happiness. When you remind your life, if you have no mistakes or misbehavior, it means you can be proud of your life. Not only you can be proud, but also your children, your parents, your sisters also can be proud of thinking of you. Because my children are good, my husband is good, my wife is good, they can be proud of thinking of you because of the discipline in his speech and behavior. Next one is the right livelihood. right livelihood means when we do something as jobs to spend our life, we always choose the righteous way for our jobs. Especially if a person has right understanding, that person always try to choose a job which can meritorious deeds while he is doing a job. That is a very important thing. Always we earn money in the righteous way, that we have right understanding. We know very well that the happiness is more important than money which we earn. If we lose our happiness when we are going to earn money, then that money also is useless. That is why we are ready to earn money in righteous way, that we do all things in our life in the name of happiness. When we earn some money, if it is righteous, it means you can be proud of your money that you earn hard. There are very special letter written by Abraham Lincoln to his son's teacher. When you go home, please check the internet. The Abraham Lincoln's letter for his son's teacher. Abraham Lincoln says to his son's teacher, please teach to my son the importance of $5 that earn hard than $100 that you get easily. That is a very good advice. The $5 are important that you earn hard in the righteous way, than you get $100 in bad way or easily. That is very important. That is very valuable.
Honor? It gives you honor?
Yeah, honor. Mm-hmm.
Is that why Abraham Lincoln is on the $5 bill?
Yeah, actually, yeah, maybe he's in $5. Yeah, it may be. Actually, Abraham Lincoln has written a lot of things which are very important. If we read those things, we can get a lot of advice from them. That is very important. He was a very honest person in the world. And actually, when we read or when we know about some persons, we can get a lot of advice from their life. And sometimes when we meet a person, that person is the age of 80 or 90. At that age, they have accumulated a lot of good qualities from the society. If we associate them, if we read their letters or books, we can get their experience in the young age. Then we also can improve our knowledge. We can we can share their knowledge, their experience, when we read or when we associate them. That is a good opportunity. Get the result by that opportunity. That is very important. Especially if a person who is in the educational field, if you are interested in studying psychology or linguistics or philosophy, if you read more than 10 PhD essays, what happens? It is same like you have 10 doctorates. Their doctorate essay is their knowledge that they accumulated in their lifetime. If you like to go forward in some sort of field in education, try to get some sort of PhD theses and try to read them. Then you can improve your knowledge. That is very important. That is very, very important.
So just go through reading other people's thesis and stuff?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, like UCLA or USC, they have a
Yeah,
big
every university in their library there are very separate sections about thesis. There are master degrees, there are first degree, master degrees, thesis.
Yeah.
We can read.
In order to graduate, they have to write one.
Yeah, sometimes they are printed. Sometimes we can buy. Sometimes they don't. They are not printed. But as the first copy, the theses are in the library, in the special section, the reference section. You can find it, and you can read them. Yeah, that's a good chance. When I came here, I brought more than 4 theses about doctorates in my field. Yeah, it's a good chance for us.
You said you wrote?
No, other persons wrote.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was going to say, are they available?
Other persons' theses I collected. Their master degrees and their PhD degrees in my field. Then actually, if we read those books, we can share that knowledge with them. That is very important. Especially, I was explaining about the right livelihood. When we do some jobs in the name of money or for our life, it should be right, yes. That is very important. If we earn some sort of money in the correct way, we can be proud of our wealth. We can be proud of our money that we earn very hard. That money is very valuable, although it is very few. There is a very special thing in my country. Our country has very long history, written history. Our country has very clear written history. The book, the history book is written before 2000 years ago. The book, and we have 2,500 years written history. There were some kings, some rulers. When they were doing some merits, especially generosity, offering some foods or some things to others, there were some kings in my country. They have gone to another place, changing their clothes and their appearance. They have earned some money doing some working as some laborers and farmers in the paddy field, and they have earned some money very hardly, and they have brought that money to the palace, and they spend that money for generosity, for offerings, because they understood that if they did some generous with the money of in their treasure, it is not valuable. The merit is not valuable. That is why they went to another place, changing their appearance. They worked as laborers in the other places, and they came back and bring in that money, and they practiced generosity with that money. It means that merit is very high, very deep, very valuable. It is a good meritorious deed. There were some stories in my country, that book.
What is are those books available?
Yeah, still we can see. It means, it says in my language, Mahavansa. Maha means great. Vansa means history, great history. Mahavansa. The book is Mahavansa. It is written in Buddha's language, as verses, as stanzas.
So it's never been translated to...
Actually, already it is translated into English and many languages.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, here we were discussing about the importance of right livelihood. Actually, because of right understanding, already we are practicing these qualities in our life. You know, if we have right understanding, this knowledge come to our whole life. Not only when you are in the temple. Everywhere where you are living with this knowledge. You have no time for leisure of interval. Always you are with the Dhamma, with this teaching. It means you are with happiness everywhere where you are. That's the important thing. But at sometimes people think that we should pray, we should practice these things when we are in the temple or we are in front of the monks. But actually it is a misconception. If we have this knowledge, we are ready to practice this knowledge everywhere. It means if we practice this knowledge everywhere, we are happy in everywhere. Where you practice this teaching, there you are happy. Effort means, actually already we have explained this effort. I think last weeks we described the virya or effort. Can you remember? We described the five mental faculties, you know. Last days we discussed the five faculties or five spiritual faculties. There also it comes there too. Actually, first of all, I have explained you that these 8 things can be included. All doctrines that Buddha explained. Buddha's all teachings can be included in these 8 things, 8 steps, which are 8-fold path. Right effort means, first it can be divided into 2, that getting rid of bad situation and developing the good deeds. Again it can be divided into by 2. We are ready to get rid of bad in our life that already we don't do. And also we are ready to get rid of bad deeds that already we do. In good way too. We are ready to cultivate the good deeds that already we do. We are ready to start some good deeds that already we don't do. Isn't it? Yeah, these are the 4 things. It is clear?
It is clear, but what is the preface of that? What is it entitled?
Title, Virya.
Virya.
Virya means in Buddha's language, Virya means effort.
Effort.
Yeah, Samma Vayama and Virya both are same. Vayama.
Is it the same energy too?
Yeah. Vayama, Virya. Virya, energy, effort, courage. Those are the synonyms. Courage, effort, strength. Both are same in the Buddha's language. Vayama and Virya. It is very clear that we are ready to do both things. We are ready to avoid some bad deeds in our life, and also we are ready to cultivate good in our life. And if we have right mindfulness, always we can manage the thoughts that come to our mind. As soon as thoughts come to our mind, if we are intelligent, if we have mindfulness, we can understand the nature of that attitude. Then we can give up some sort of negative thoughts in our life. And also we can cultivate the good ideas, attitudes in our life.
What if you have like a leech who won't leave you alone and they just want to keep making you have bad? And you tell them stop and you can't get a restraining order and they will stalking you. Because they know that you're doing the good and they know that they are going to try to inflict the bad to make you compromise your knowledge.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like is happening to me.
Yeah, little by little we can avoid some of our negative activities in our life. At first, we can't identify some things what we do. And sometimes we think that some things we do, although they are bad deeds, we think that they are correct. But if we have real understanding, gradually we can understand what we do, whether they are good or bad. That is why the most important thing is right understanding. Right understanding is like a dawn. You know dawn? The young sun comes. When rise is coming as dawn, then we can see everywhere. The darkness is going back. Then light comes. We can understand, we know where we should go, what we should know, what we should do. We can understand when sundown. The right understanding is like that. If we have right understanding, we have an idea what we should do and what we should not do. Both are important. Not only doing things, but we should know what we should not do. Then we can manage our time. We can save time a lot. Now we waste our time doing some bad deeds. If we have this knowledge actually, then we get the result of our life. Buddha says very clearly, if a person live more than 100 years without this knowledge, is not good. If a person live at least one day with this knowledge, that is better. If a person live more than 100 years without this knowledge, it's not good. But if a person can live at least one day with this knowledge, it is better because of understanding. What is the thing? We are ready to get the result of our life. We do the best things in our life. Isn't it? Always we are ready to do the best thing. Refer the internet and refer the very most important speech. Refer the internet and refer the most valuable persons in the world and do the best thing. Then you can get the results of your life. Then you are not, you don't worry to live for a long time. Because always you have got the result of your life. Then right effort, then the next one is the most important thing and our best friend, right mindfulness. If always we have right mindfulness, it means we are living with happiness. If we lost mindfulness, it means we lost our happiness. That is why we never forget mindfulness. You should never forget mindfulness. Don't neglect your best friend. Never forget your best friend. If you forget your best friend, you forget your happiness. Mindfulness means awareness. You are living consciously. You are living present moment. You have good attention what we do at the moment. You are very careful about your mind. You are very sensitive the thoughts that come to your mind. You don't give the chance to come to negative ideas to your mind. Like a watcher, like a security near the gate. The person who is the security near the gate is very careful not to enter the bad persons. He check. You also should be a security person. When some ideas or attitudes come to your mind, check them, and if they are bad, try to avoid them. Always keep your mind calm and quiet, even though your environment is very complex or troubled. It doesn't matter. Your happiness depends on not about your environment. It depends on your mind. It depends on your attitude. If you can keep your mind always with right ideas, it means you are happy always. Then nobody can disturb your peace in your mind. It means you are a skillful person according to Buddhism. Although you have high score in your GPA, Buddhism doesn't say that you are a smart person, you are a gifted person. If you have real mindfulness always, if you live mindfully, it means you are a gifted person than who has a doctorate. If you have doctorate, it's better. Even though you haven't, it doesn't matter, because you are rich in merits. It means you are rich in happiness. Always your face is very pleasant with happiness. Always you are living at the present moment. Then your whole life is successful. That is the nature of the success of your life. The success of your life depends on mindfulness. It is clear?
Yeah. I was just replaying that in my mind.
Yeah. Little by little I improve my English too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am very happy.
It started out good, and I was thinking today how your first notes were here, and now these are here.
Yeah,
So
I am so happy. I think that is the visible result that I do.
Yes.
When I share something that I know, gradually I also am growing up. Yeah, that is the visible results that we practice in this life. Yeah, I do all things kindly, unexpecting anything. That is the result of I gain in my life. And also I go for classes on behalf of you, not for me. Yeah. Actually, when I was in my country, I finished all study. But here I started again because I have to learn English too. But yeah, on the behalf of you. But I think I also can be proud of my knowledge, and not only about language, but daily I am growing up with the knowledge what Buddha says. Then if we are growing up with the knowledge, it means we can practice those teachings in our life. Then our happiness also will increase gradually. Always I appreciate you because you are here. I can improve my knowledge.
We appreciate you because you're here. We can improve our knowledge.
Yeah. Mindfulness, actually there are a lot of teachings about mindfulness. It is a big topic in Buddhism. There is a very great discourse in Buddhism. Already I have mentioned you the great mindfulness discourse. There are a lot of teachings there. Our whole activities can be included in this mindfulness. Not only our mind, but our activities, our day-to-day activities, and also until we are going to bed, until we are going to sleep, from we wake up, all activities we have to do with mindfulness. It means we are living with happiness. When we do something, if we do those things with mindfulness, then we live at the present moment. We are interested in what we are doing. I remembered some idea. If we think that the happiness will come after we do something, then we have never the happiness. If we think the happiness is while we are doing something, then we are happy always. Never think that the happiness comes after I finish something. Always think that the happiness comes to us while we are doing something, not finishing. But mostly the people think that when they are going to prepare something for dinner or for lunch, they think that after finish the dinner or lunch, they will be happy. But enjoy when you cook something with good smell. Then after you finish cooking, the good smell went back. Then always try to be happy while we are doing something, not after you complete it. When you are doing something, when you drive to somewhere, while you are doing that work, be happy at the moment. Then your whole life is with happiness. If a person thinks that I can be happy after this work, after I finish this work, he never reaches to the happiness. That is the thing that we learn from Buddhism. I think we discussed a lot. And the next one is the final one, 8th one, right concentration. Right concentration means we are ready to focus our mind particular object again and again, such as breathing meditation, loving kind meditation. Sit in some sort of posture, we practice our mind, keeping our attitude in a particular object. We focus our mind particular meritorious act, meritorious object. Again and again we practice. All beings be well, happy and peaceful. Again and again I remind it. And when we practice that concept, try to keep your mind end of your nose. Never forget it. Always try to keep your mind in this area. upper lip or end of your nose. Try to do your all things that you do in your day-to-day life, keeping your mind in this area. Then your mind is very soft, very smooth. Your breathing is very smooth. Your activities is very smooth, calm, quiet, like a rose flower. Nobody can change your peace. Always be ready to give forgiveness when others have mistakes. Don't be angry with any person. Then always be ready to offer something to others if they need. If you can spend your time for them, it is also good. At sometimes we can't offer something physically, but if we can share our time with them, when they have problems, if we have good attention with them, it is also some sort of generosity. Try to practice generosity. That is the first step that we are going to practice the happiness. Concentration is very, very important. Again and again, try to cultivate, meditate your mind, sitting in a particular posture, and not only sitting, but also walking too, you can practice it. When you drive, please try to cultivate your mind according to loving kindness. May all living beings well, happy and peaceful. And you can think about your breathing in and out when you drive. When you feed your children, try to cultivate loving kindness. May my child be live long, be happy, well and peaceful. We can practice with our close relatives in first. Gradually, we cultivate it into outside too. Finally, we cultivate in our enemies too. First, you start with your children, who is your close friend, which you like a lot. It is good in first, but when we practice it gradually, we can practice this knowledge to our enemies too. Then it means your mind is very strong. It means you are rich in merits always. It means suffering doesn't come to your mind. If suffering comes to your mind, it means you are weak. It means you are not fluent, proficient. If you have the proficiency, if you have skills, suffering cannot come to your mind. If suffering comes to your mind, be honest. Understand that you are not a skillful person. Try to cultivate your skills, your proficiency. Practice in this knowledge. Not only for hereafter, but the happiness in this life itself. The results are visible. If you practice this knowledge this moment, you can get the result at the moment, not tomorrow or end of our life or next birth. In this moment itself, you can get the results. That is why it is said Buddhism, the one quality of the Buddha's teaching, akalika. Akaliko ehi pacciko panayiko. Swakato bhagavata dhammo. The qualities of Dhamma. One of them is akalika. Akalika means we can get the result at the moment. We can get the results quickly, instantly. This is the one of the qualities of Buddha's teaching. Mostly we can see the religions that we can get the results hereafter. We can go to near the God after death. But here Buddhism says very clearly, if we can practice this knowledge, the results are visible in this moment. We can increase our happiness in this short life at the moment.
So we see the results very quickly?
Quickly, yeah. Instantly. Soon. Quickly.
That's so true.
At the moment.
I've been practicing that and like catching my mind and then realizing, being mindful, and then turning it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, good. Actually, we are so lucky who are listening to this message. Actually, we didn't have these teachings. Actually, we don't know the real way, how we get the real happiness. Always we think that the happiness will in the future. But that day never comes. Yeah.
Always waiting. And not enjoying the
present moment.
And then you have regrets.
Okay, as the result of practicing this eightfold path, if how much we have right understanding, that much we have other qualifications, other steps. Not one by one. How much we have right understanding, that much we have right speech, right intention, right livelihood, right actions, all things increases gradually. How much we have right understanding. That is why we have to do only things that cultivate the right understanding. As much as we have right understanding, then we have other qualifications too. Especially, we should keep our mindfulness always. That is the main reason whether we are happy or not. Okay, now the time to stop our class. I think we discussed a lot very important things today. I am so happy to share my knowledge with you because I also did a lot of meritorious deeds sharing this knowledge, and I think you also be happy. Then, okay, thank you for your coming. Now let's the time to transfer the merits that we accumulated in the moment to our beloved relatives too. If someone who departed as your relatives wish some merits from you, may they receive this merit and may they receive good life and may they attain final bliss of liberation. With that intention, let's recite the special stanza. Idamme jnatinam hotu sukhita hontu jnatayo. Idamme jnatinam hotu sukhita hontu jnatayo. Idamme jnatinam hotu sukhita hontu jnatayo. Let's we transfer all these merits to divine persons and angels too. Receiving these merits, may they keep their eye on you too, and may they protect you for a long time, giving happiness. And with that intention, let's we transfer these all merits to divine persons too. Ettavata ca amhehi sambhatang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodanto sabba sampatti sindhya. Ettavata ca amhehi sambhatang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodanto sabba sampatti sindhya. Ettavata ca amhehi sambhatang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodanto sabba sampatti sindhya. Finally, I wish you all the best, and with the energy of these all merits, may you be well, happy and peaceful. May you live long with happiness with your children, with your relatives too. May Triple Gem bless you. Thank you for your comment. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. You're welcome.